So what I'll do, I'll just give you a quick catch up of what we covered in last couple of sessions, and then we'll touch a little bit of the next module. It would be very beneficial for you guys if you can, like, once we are done with today's session, you go back, try to access the tenant, and then uh, try to practice what we have covered, because whatever we have covered so far, it's just, I would say, very basic things. We haven't indulged into uh, more details, like anything that is really difficult to understand. So let me quickly share my screen. In the core concept module, we just learned about supervisory organization, which is a foundation of Workday HCM. So it's a structure which is used for, like, you can say it's a foundation based on which we structured the whole setup of HCM. So supervisory organization can be of different types. It can be a company, it can be uh, a division, a department, or a team. Staffing models, then there are two types of staffing models that are available in Workday. One is position management and another one is job management. And then both have their own own advantages, but uh, generally, in most commonly used is position management. Then the job profile. So the job profiles is about grouping the generic features or characteristic of jobs, uh, and the benefit of having job profile is that uh, organizations are able to run different kind of analysis based on these profiles. Uh, Depending on how an organization is structured, these job profiles can be made like in different ways. It all depends what sort of jobs there are in an organization, and then based on that, different kind of job profiles can be created, and then further analysis can be done, and that analysis actually help in budgeting, um, in deciding different things. So for example, if there is any upcoming project or a particular kind of profile is needed, so these setups actually helps to take that decision. Then we have compensation. So compensation covers everything from base salary, allowances, bonus, merit, any other benefit, any bonus, could be any commission. So everything is clubbed under this compensation. We have a separate module of compensation. We are going to talk about in detail in that module, but it covers everything. And um, we can actually structure different compensation plans uh, based on maybe management level, maybe location, maybe department, maybe on a company level, because it's not necessary that in Workday environment we are just setting up one company. And even in one tenant we can have multiple companies. Then we have a security group. So security is all about uh, the the access to different information. There are different security groups, and users are given different accesses based on that. There can be user based security as well. There can be some Workday delivered security groups that can be assigned to different users. And then there is a business process. So business process is a collection of one or more tasks that is that basically targeting a desired business objective. An example could be of, for example, a hire process can be can be an example of business process. Termination can be an example of business process. Um, Onboarding can be an example of a business process. So these and maybe transfer can be another business process. So different these are the different business processes. We can assign like we can define different stages or different tasks of a business process. We can also assign different roles on a particular task. That for example, if we are, let's say, transferring any employee, so one uh, maybe we are adding a step where the current department manager needs to give an approval before an employee is transferred to another department. So that can be an example of uh, business process. Then we have business object. So overall whole concept of Workday HCM is based on business object. Workday is storing the data as business object. There are different business objects, and these objects are linked with each other. Organization is one object, worker is another object, position is another object, compensation can be another object. We are going to learn more about it in when we'll cover the reporting part. But all these objects are linked to each other. So for example, if a worker is one object, there is a certain compensation that worker has. There is a certain a number of absences or leaves that are available. He or she must be part of some security group based on which he or she will have access in the system. So what I can or cannot see is primarily based on the uh, security groups I'm part of. There will be an address. I must have a certain position assigned in Workday. There must be some role, some job profile. There must be some management level. Maybe if not a management level, maybe an individual contributor. And there must be a job classification as well. So this is simply the main navigation demo. So if we go to, so this is our main Workday page. I shared it in my initial session. So this is the home button, Workday button. This is inbox. This is notification panel. Everything or every business process that I am part of, I'll get all the notifications or all the alerts in this action items in my inbox. So every business process I'm part of, I'll keep getting that archived. Or the processes, I think for last it records for last couple of days. I can add different filters here if I want to filter the information that I'm getting in my inbox. So I have that option as well. So for example, edit filters, these are the different filters that are defined. I can do that if I want to see specific kind of like items in my inbox. So then we have this quick access. We can add maybe some dashboard or any reports that I want to be accessible easily. I can do that as well from here. So this is my profile. Right now I am logged in as Logan McNeil. So I can always go and check my profile from here, and over there I'll be able to see all details specific to my user. And we also talked about all this information summary. So supervisory organization, global modern services is the main company, you can say, and then there is a supervisory with the name of human resources. So the job profile that we were talking about, this is the business title. Job family, so human resources, HR management. This is the management level again. Depending on what sort of levels are defined in a particular organization, we can do that, these are the different details, job details, and this is showing the details of organization that are linked to Logan's profile. So this first part of the screen showing that she is part of which organization, and if she has any leadership responsibilities or organization that she is leading, so you will be able to see it in the bottom half of the screen. By the way, if anybody has any question, you can ask, because I'm just quickly going through it because we already covered all this. Then inbox navigation, we have already talked about it. This is our landing page, and these are the worklet. This is generally customizable. We can add or delete different things from here. Some of them are Workday delivered or maybe marked as mandatory by Workday. If not, then we can always go and delete from here or add anything from here. In order to add anything here, there something must be shared with my user, only then I'll be able to access it. So let's cancel it. So that's about worklets. So that was our first session, introductory session. So what organization is? Organization is a unit, a group of different resources, workers and costs. Supervisory organization is the primary organization structure. Workers are grouped and tracked within supervisory organization. As we just checked, that Logan McNeil is part of human resource supervisory organization, which actually belongs to global modern services. Uh, Organizations can be of different types. So as I mentioned, company can be a type of organization. Cost center can be a type of organization. Region can be an example of organization type. So this is again another example. So let's say this purple one, we are calling it an organization, and that let's say this is global modern services. Then global modern services have has different regions, has employees in different parts of the world. Let's say region Y, maybe let's say that it is US. So let's say it's these 8 people are part of US region. Let's say there are different cost center wise. For example, let's say there are people from R&D department. There might be some people from customer service department. So we can take an example, let's say, so cost center, let's say customer service. So these 6 people are from customer service cost center, let's say. And then these 9 people, the orange one, supervisory Z. So maybe we can say that there is a team, and these 8 people belong to that same team. So these are the different kind of organization, and within a single organization there can be sub parts of it. So that's why we are saying that companies or is an example of organization, cost center is an example of organization, region can be an example of organization. Why are we using organizations? So it first of all, security. We can always assign different kind of security accesses based on these organizations. So let's say I am part of global modern services US region, so I'll be assigned a role according to the region I am responsible for, until unless I have some kind of like global responsibility where I am actually looking for different regions for operations of different regions. Other than that, I'll be given the access on a particular supervisory organization based on my role. We can use we can get different kind of reportings using this organization structure, and we can also have different business processes. So we can configure different business processes using this structure. So for example, in a single tenant we have different organizations set up, We can even set up a business for process for a particular department, for a particular company, or maybe a region. So organization types, these are the different kind of organizations that we can have in Workday. This is actually giving an example of from education sector. So that's why you see that academic unit, project hierarchy, program hierarchy, again, depending on what business or what domain you belong to, you can have different kind of organization type set up in the system. Again, this is just a further example of what we discussed. So again, these are different kind of supervisory organization. Global support center is one example. Operation is another supervisory organization. So we can have these different kind of supervisory organizations. Again, that's an org chart. So chief operating officer, then chief executive officer, then there are different C-level people here. So CIO, CHRO, CFO. So all these people, and then there is VP HR, and then there are different people reporting to Logan. Again, these all people might have different supervisory organization. They will be part of any supervisory organization, and they can be a leader of any supervisory organization. Having a leadership responsibility is an option, but having a link with any supervisory organization is mandatory, because we cannot add any individual in the system without linking him or her to a particular supervisory organization. So different kind of positions are created within a supervisory organization. Employee will always be hired in supervisory organization, and then we can have different roles assigned within a supervisory organization. And as I mentioned, we can configure different kind of business processes. Subtypes or supervisory organization can have subtypes like division, department. You define each organization subtype using maintain organization subtype tasks, and you can enforce hierarchy of your organization. There are different kind of roles. So let's just take a quick look. So for example, this is one supervisory organization, and I want to assign a particular role on this supervisory. So you see, these are the two roles that are currently available. We generally have a number of roles available that are actually Workday delivered. So so you see, these are the different kind of roles that are available: absence partner, accountant, accounting manager, accounts payable analyst. There can be HR partner, compensation partner, and then these details are telling us that this particular role is actually enabled on company level or hierarchy level. This is only enabled on supervisory level. So these are the different kind of roles that are available. We can also create our own customizable role in case we need, but Workday has delivered quite a lot already, and we can use them as well. But if any organization has some specific kind of requirement which is not meeting by by Workday delivered role, so we can create our customized ones as well. Then inheritance. So inheritance is about actually taking the role from the upper level. So let's say if I'm going to assign a role on top level, then it will automatically go down. So let's say if I'm giving I'm giving a role of HR partner on company level, so automatically it will be like if I am HR partner and has been given a role on company level, means global modern services, so I will automatically get roles on further subtype of organizations because I've been given the role on top hierarchy. So maybe there are different teams and there are different managers. So if I am given the role on top level, then I'll automatically get on like on the bottom one and, as well. Then this is an example of a structure. So what are the characteristic of organization? So there are different like let's say HR partner role, if it's given over here as well, so because it's given on the top level, so it will automatically come down. Then we have who are workers and managers. So workers can only be hired in one supervisory organization. A manager of the supervisory organization is hired into the superior supervisory organization to the one that he or she manages. So it's the same thing that as I explained. So Logan is part of human resource supervisory organization, this one, and she is managing a couple other supervisory organization. So all these are, she's the manager of all these organization, and she herself belongs to human resource supervisory organization. So we can create like different level of, like for example, if I want top level human resource, and then within that I want a bifurcation like recruitment benefit, so I can create subordinate organization as well. If I want to assign uh, superior to any supervisory organization, I can do that as well. These all options are actually coming from reorganization. So if I want to reorganize or make any change, I can use these options. If I don't if I want to divide any organization, I can do that as well. So let's say if there was one supervisory and if I want to divide it into two based on whatever reason, I can do that as well. And then inactivate. So if I want to inactivate any supervisory organization, I can do that as well. I can move workers um, from one organization to another organization. So create supervisory organization is a task that you can use and create it. It will be created in some other organization. So let's say if you created XYZ, so you will be able to create a supervisory organization. And you can fill in the details, what type of supervisory organization it is, a company, department, division, group, or it's a project-based supervisory organization. So you can try exploring these options. If you face any problem, you can put a question on the portal and then I can answer back. So staffing model, what's staffing model? The staffing models are used uh, to define how the jobs will be structured, how the jobs will be filled. One of the model is more flexible, the other one has less flexibility. Um, Generally, position management, actually both are used in different organization, but most commonly used is position management because it has more control. We can like a position is created and approval is given, and then uh, the whole process is run, so the management has more control over it. Job management job management model has more flexibility, so less control. These are generally maybe used in startups or where generally at an initial stage people are not sure that uh, what sort of a skill set they would need in a particular, um, or I should say what number they would need, and they are more planning on a higher level. They are in a stage where they have a certain budget and they are not sure where they should better utilize it. But or there are bulk approvals required, so in that case this model is used. So I'm not going to spend much time on it. So the basic difference is about flexibility and the control that these models has. You can go through the, because I have covered these already in that specific module session, so you can go through the details there, but I'm just building a context here so we can go further. Jobs and positions. So job profiles, so as I mentioned, contains a generic characteristic of a job or a position. uh, like job profiles can be assigned to multiple positions, or workers can have a one-to-one relationship with position, example CEO, or one-to-many like executive assistant. So there can be multiple executive assistant. So this is the overall hierarchy. So job family group, let's say human resources. Then there are different, so there are two job families defined here, HR services and benefits. Then there are different job profiles, specialist, journalist, and benefit analyst. And then these are the positions. So this is the overall hierarchy, and we can of course have similar sort of hierarchy amongst different departments. This is again further explanation of the same thing, and we are over here, we are checking with respect to finance. So family group is finance. And what's the purpose of finance? Is actually looking for like planning, overseeing and administering all aspects of the organization, financial operations. And then we have different families, so accounting, budget, investment, and financial services. And then based on that, we have these different job profiles. So staff accountant, budgeting officer, manager investment, or student accountant counselor. So these three, for examples, profiles belongs to this family, these three profiles belong to this family, these two belongs to this investment, and then these three to student financial services. We can always group jobs in this manner. Again, depending on how big the organization and how clearly these roles are defined, we can have these job families and groups categorized. um, Job profile delivered elements. So whenever we are creating job profiles, we fill in all these details there. So an example, so for example, I think I mentioned earlier as well. So let's say we are hiring, for example, software engineers. One we are hiring in US, another we are hiring in, let's say, India. So because the cost, the realities of both the countries are different, cost would be different, economic situation would be different, cost of living would be different, job market situation would be different, supply and demand of resources would be different. So based on that, cost may vary. So for one zone, um, the minimum pay is, let's say, 100,000, maximum is 300. For another zone, minimum is 110 and max is 330. Again, in this particular situation, we have defined the profiles by zones. We can maybe define in a different manner as well. Again, the idea is that we can later on run different kind of analysis using these terms. Uh, how to create positions and jobs and positions. So by the way, just a general tip that what, so let's say over here we see create jobs or create position. If I'm going to try here and type, so you see I can see create position. So it's quite self-explanatory. Even if you will just use the common terms, you will be um able to find a lot of information here. So BP stands for business process. These keywords actually helps us to refine our search. If I'll not use this keyword, it will give me all the options that has higher word used in it. So if I'm actually looking for business process particularly, so the in that case I can type BP and it will um, shrink the search option and it will give me some specific um, options. Similarly, because I was mentioning about another as well, so if I type here termination again, so these are the termination business processes are already available in the tenant. These are these can be designed for a specific organization. So let's say over here it's like termination for global modern services. So that's a business process definition. All we can see here are actually business processes. So I would want you to create a position or also try to view, edit, or even create a job profile. So let's just try doing it. So as I mentioned that it's always it will be the case that we must have a supervisory organization in any position or any uh, person that we'll hire. It will be linked to a particular supervisory organization. If we go here, you will see that so position and job use profiles, and then they'll always be part of certain supervisory organization. So by default, it's giving us HR services department. So let's try and create a position here. So what's the reason for creating a position? We have to select, and again, each and every option that we are selecting here, we'll be able to generate reports based on these options. So let's say I want to see that in 2021, how many positions have been created in the system with the reason of staff new project. I'll be able to get it in the form of a report. Over here, I need to put in um, a job title. Let's say staff accountant. I am mentioning here XYZ for ease of identification. Availability date. So earliest hire date. So availability date, whatever date I am putting in here. So availability date is the um, earliest hire date would be that we will not be able to hire on this position before this defined date. If I'm going to put in 10th 10 September here, then I cannot hire a person before 10 September. So job families by group, because we put in staff accountant. So let's say accounting, that's the job family. These are the different like profiles created. So let me put in senior accountant. If I want to uh, add a summary, I can add here as well. Proper job description, which location I am uh, adding. So let's say I am adding in USA. Time type, if I'm hiring a full-time or part-time. What type of worker, regular, so contractor or an employee. So let's say I'm hiring an employee. Worker types. We can always, if we want, again, that would help us in reporting. We can mark it as, let's say, difficult to fill. It's up to us. It's an option. If we don't want to mark it, we can just leave it blank. So I'm leaving it blank, and now I am supposed to fill in I have to check, review all the details that are added. And if I want to add or make any change, then I can do that. If I want to attach any job description, I can do that as well. If not, then I can simply submit it. So it's the process is completed. So that was about the position. Now, coming to our actual agenda of today's session, I am not going to cover whole part of it, but I'm going to tell a couple of things. And I would expect you guys to do a little bit of practice on the tenant, and then so we can cover more details in tomorrow's session. So I'm going to cover proxy sessions. I remember, I think I talked about it a little bit in my first session probably. But so generally speaking, whenever we are working on any system, generally there is a production environment, or you can say a live environment, which is used by actual users. You can say the live environment. And then there is a testing environment, which is used for testing if we need to like make any major change in the setup, or maybe we are creating something new, maybe we are changing any configurations. So in order to check its impact, we generally uh, do that work on sandbox, or what you call is testing environment. And then once we are done with the testing, we are sure that okay, everything is fine and it's not going to break anything, then we can deploy the same thing on our production or live environment. So the tenant that we are currently using, it's you can call it a testing environment. And even if we are using the system in any organization, we always get multiple tenants. There is one environment which is production, and the other one is the testing one. So let's say I am testing a business process, let's say, or I made a certain change and I want to see its impact. So let's say the process somehow is going to impact Laura, or maybe I want to see that how Laura will see that process, how it will look like to her. So what I can do, I can actually access the system as Laura, which means that I am as if I am using her credentials and logging in using her credentials, and then want to see that what she can see in the system. So what I'll do, there are two ways to do it. First option is that I simply type here start proxy. Let's see if we are having this option over here. And by the way, this start proxy option is generally available to administrative user, not to or you what you will call power user. So it's generally available, and I can log in using that particular person. I even don't need to know the credentials. I would just go here. I think they have recently restricted it. So generally in security profile, we get that start proxy option. And if I am going to do that, then I'll be able to see the information the same way Laura would see it. Let's try one more time. Okay, so probably I need to tweak the security setting a little bit, but generally the purpose is that I can log in using, assuming that I am actually using the credentials of another user, but again, that's only available to master user or super user, what you would say. And then you can test different things. Of course, we can go and change the password of that per individual as well, but we can do like if we want to test from different user, let's say we don't have to do that process again and again, and we can just um, like use proxy and do that. Of course, there are still certain restrictions in using proxy as well, and we'll see the details shortly. So in today's, if we go by our standard like flow, so the agenda topics for this session is like landing page worklets, proxy sessions, then hiring process review or creating a job requisition, then we have compensation and grades, and then configurable security. Uh, we are going to take a little bit of time on a couple of things, and then as I mentioned, I would expect you guys to practice some of the things that we covered in last like 4 sessions, try different options, and then we'll move further on that. So proxy session, as I mentioned, it's a proxy access policy in place. So you can start and stop proxy by accessing the start proxy and stop proxy task. So generally, if we type start proxy in the search option, we we then have to type the name of the user, and then we can access the system from his or her profile. And once we are done with checking that, we can just go and type stop proxy, and then we'll come back to our original profile. So what happens while we are using proxy session? Workday displays on behalf of and the name of the user on whose behalf you are acting in place of your username. So for example, let's say I was trying to access Laura's profile. So I'll see written at the top, it will be written that on behalf of Laura, or whatever her full name is. As a proxy user, you can perform any action in Workday that the user on whose behalf you are acting is authorized, excluding certain functionality. And what's that excluded functionality is? So excluded functionality that you will might not be able to access the documents, maybe some forms printing, some email integrations, but generally you will be able to see the main dashboard and main details that are available. So hiring process terms. Position, we discussed this in our earlier session as well, that it is you can understand it as a chair or a filled position. So there a chair can be an empty one or can be a filled one. In order to be like assigning someone on a particular position, we need a job requisition process. So job requisition approval basically. So the head of that department or that supervisory will approve a job requisition, and then we usually run the hire process. So let's take a look of, let's see if there is any job requisition. So you see there, this is a job requisition process already available, business processes already available. So let's take a quick look, but we'll actually create a job rec. So you see this is and that there is a list of tasks, and then these are the different roles or the and the people who are having these roles will be able to perform this specific task. So let's say if you are talking about creating a position, so who can do that? That person should either be the HR partner, should be the recruiter, or the manager. So now if we want to see that um what access HR partner has, So HR partner can actually perform HR management functions for assigned organizations, include creating and approving new position, job assignments, and managing the job profiles. So if Logan has HR partner role assigned, then only we'll be able to create a job requisition from her profile. So let's I'm not we have like full session of this business process, so I was just sharing what actually the business process is. So let's say create job requisition. So we are creating a job requisition in HR services department. um, we can either create a new position, or if there is any existing position, we can do that as well. So these are the different positions that are already created. Let's see. So let's see now what type of worker we want to hire. Would that be an employee, or would be a contingent worker or a contractor, you can say. So let's say I am going for employee. Why I am hiring this? So am I creating a like new job requisition? Is it a new position, or maybe it can be a replacement? Let's say I am creating a new position and I'm saying that it's approved. If it might be a replacement of a particular person, because I have while taking the approval, I actually added that I am requesting this position as a replacement of this person. So target hire date, let's say I am adding today's date. There can be any referral plan. I don't know if I mean there must be something defined at the back end for both of these. I can still because it's not a mandatory field, I can still leave it blank. Now you see it has automatically populated all the information, because it was available, it was probably created in the past. So the system already had these details available. So I just uh, like selected the position title, and it has automatically populated all the relevant details. If by any chance maybe I need to make any change to these details, I can use this edit button and can make the change. If not, then I can simply go with this. So there are some details that I need to fill in, because some mandatory details are not added there. So what type of worker I need? So I'm looking for a regular worker. Primary location is, let's say, USA. Again, all these details are already populated here. If I need to change anything, I can. If not, then I can simply review it quickly and click on next. Now over here, again, I see that it is for global modern services, cost center. It's again, this cost center is already created there. If I need to change it for any reason, I can do that. All information is already populated here. If I want to attend any specific attach any specific document, maybe a job requisition document, a job description document, I can do that. And then compensation details, already a range is provided here. If let's say I want to change that range, I can also do that. Again, compensation package. So in this you see, so this is a management level compensation package, and you see that there are lot of things already linked to this grade. So management grade would get for example car, there will be a family allowance, there can be a management allowance, bonus, maybe any other thing, any specific vacation premium, seniority allowance, stocks. So again, this is, we have already defined in that package and we are simply assigning it. So whoever will be hired on this position will automatically be get eligible to receive all this. So you see 3% annual merit plan, 10% annual bonus plan, 10% annual stock plan. Again, these all details are automatically populated. So this is like, you can say, a final screen to review all the details that are already there. And once I'm sure, then I can click on the submit. So we probably have not entered the salary amount. So let's say, so this is the thing that I need to fill in. And let's say I am selecting here. By the way, this range that we are getting here is actually the range defined in the profile, that people having this particular profile will have salaries within this range. Let's say, and now I have created the job requisition. Now I can do two things. Now I want to hire an employee. So I can either go to hire employee task. I'll fill in the details here. And so that could be one option. Another option could be I would go to view open positions. And I see that. So let's try and, so let's say I am trying and I am hiring person here. Okay. Now the information that I'm filling is filling over here. It's based on, let's say I'm assuming that there is a pre-hire, or there is a profile, or there is a candidate that we already added in the system, and I'm trying to find out if that person, if I can get the details of that person. So I have just as an example put in my details, and let's try if we are able to find any. So we were not able to find any one using this name, let's say. So you see there are these, we are getting these three results. So three pre-hires. Pre-hires are the profiles that are already available in the system. So I was just showing you as an example that we can use any existing profiles and fill in the details using that. If you are, let's say if I'm going to select this, and so I won't have to fill in all the details, and this person will be hired on that specific position. But for now, i'm I'm going to follow the full process. So what error we are creating a new pre-hire. It means we are not using any individual that has the profile already. Now again, this information, so source of hiring, companies take a lot of their decisions based on this information. So let's say if I've hired a person, for example, using any social media site, and let's say LinkedIn. Now over the year, uh, let's say I have hired like 1,000 people. So this source will actually tell me that, let's say 40% of my hires were through LinkedIn, for example. So, and maybe 20% through employee referral, let's say. So these are the things, these are the actionable insight that we talked about in our demo session, the initial demo session. These are the things that actually giving us a lot of information and helps us to take the decision later on. So I, as a company, would know that this is the area that I need to invest in more, and this is giving me more results or maybe better results. So this sort of information is also available in the system. If let's say if I'm saying that uh, it's actually referred by someone in my team, so I can uh, select the name of that person, and that can also give me an idea. Okay, so I have like 20% people hired via referrals, and maybe the out of 20%, this 5% was actually given by this particular individual, let's say. So those sort of things. Now over here, I'll just put in the information, contact information. I need to put in at least one of these details. It might give me some error if I'm not doing uh, like not adding the correct number of digits there. So let me, I think it should work fine now. What type of number it is, type. So if I'm going to click on work, then it will be shown as like public. If I'm going to select home, then it's not going to be public, it will be a private one. I can add address as well. Over here, I'm just for the sake of completing the process, I've just entered the mobile number. Now I'm going to hire details here. So probably I need to check if I got the position approved or not. So this was the step that I did not complete. That's why I was not able to see the position there. So we are going to, I would have to refresh the page, but over here you will fill in all the details. What type of, again, all those details that we, and actually I won't even have to fill in that information. As soon as I'll click on, I'll select the position, this will automatically get populated. And once I'm done with that, then I'll submit it. And the hire process will go to the next level where I'll have to fill in the different details of organization or all those details. And then I'll be done with the hire process. So this is the whole hire process that this is how basically we um, run the hire process, and then we'll be able to search that employee in the system.